The Area 51 raid is coming up in about 2 months now, so it might be important to understand which types of aliens you might make contact with. Some of these creatures could have made deals with our government, while others you would definitely not want to take home as your friend. Many aliens we're about to mention have been seen on camera, witnessed by abductees, or could have been mistaken for demons throughout history. From aliens being kept from the public for good reasons, to other aliens who try to progress humankind, here are species of aliens on Earth. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm your host, American Eye, keeping an eye on everything you want to know. But first, quick shout out goes to Lexus for leaving us this comment on our recent video about Area 51. We asked you guys what other spots would be good to raid, and thanks for leaving us your responses. Number 12, Reptilians. This species of aliens came to Earth, secretly controlled the human race, and are about 7 to 9 feet tall. They have the ability to shapeshift and have taken form as our world leaders, like presidents, kings and queens, secret service agents, news reporters, and so on. They are a cold-blooded species who've known about Earth since dinosaurs roamed the planet. In fact, some people believe that dinosaurs were a reptilian experiment conducted on planet Earth, and once they were done, they directed an asteroid towards Earth to clean the slate. There are many different types of reptilians, but the ruling class are known as the Royal Draco, who are actually albino like we see here. It's believed that the Dracos also had wings, and they were what the Babylonians described as Anunnaki. Some believe modern sightings of the cryptid known as the Mothman is actually the Draco. Number 11, the Moon Eyes. The Moon Eyes are typically 7 to 8 feet tall, with a pale blue skin, and have even lived on Earth. Their eyes are very sensitive to light, which is why they prefer to stay on the dark side of the moon. According to John Lear, this species of aliens made contact with humans on the moon. Accounts from Cherokee legends state that they encountered a race of blue-skinned aliens who inhabited the caves in Tennessee below the Earth. The Cherokees were also the ones who called them the Moon People, since they would come out only during the light of the moon. It's not just the Cherokee who discuss the Blue People, but also the Hopi Indians, who refer to them as the Star Warriors. We can also see some depiction of Blue People in the Hindu religion. Number 10, Gray Type 1. Although the Greys inhabit various parts of the universe, the Type 2 Greys come from the Zeta Reticuli star system, and they have advanced technology capable of reaching planet Earth. It must be pretty advanced because we're about 39.3 light years away. These are the most common aliens spotted by humans in the United States. The Greys have performed so many genetic mutations to themselves to the point where they can no longer reproduce and rely on a form of cloning to stay in existence. Humans had made a deal with these aliens when they landed on Earth. We agreed to share genetics in exchange for advances in technology, especially in regards to designing aircraft. It's believed that a number of gray aliens are working at Area 51, helping us design flying saucers and design laser weapons. They've only agreed to do this under the agreement that their existence on Earth remains highly classified by the government. Greys display no emotions or empathy towards humans, but are more curious about us if anything. People who've been abducted by them describe that they emit a very strange, peculiar odor. Number 9, Martians. The inhabitants of Mars and their 2 moons. Some believe the moons are actually hollowed-out asteroids where the Martians conduct research like cloning and experiments on humans. They've done a stellar job of being discreet of their existence since Earth vastly outnumbers the few Martians who still exist. It's thought that the Martians could be a subspecies of gray alien who are a little bit more green in appearance. They fear a war or making contact with us would cause them to spread diseases, causing them to go extinct. They also tend to stay away from Earth in order to avoid making contact with reptilians who once enslaved them on their planet. Mars was much more inhabitable thousands of years ago until it began passing through an asteroid belt, destroying a large number of them in the process. The rich class of Martians made it off the planet and are still out there somewhere. Number 8, Gray Aliens Type 2. So keep in mind that the alien race of Greys is constantly evolving after they made genetic advancements and produce human hybrids with our DNA. Some of the results might be kind of shocking, while others are going to look more similar to us. The combination with our genetics that made them slightly taller gives them some human emotions and physical characteristics. This one we see here is developing more human-like skin, but still retains traits from the Greys. There are still no eyelashes or hair, but it has been able to develop earlobes. No word on how well these experiments went, but some claim that they've been able to evolve to look just like us with very few differences. Sometimes the experiments go horribly wrong, and that's why they're being kept in a cage. Number 7, Cat Aliens. While some aliens take the form of reptilians, others originally take the form of cats. Throughout ancient history, cats were worshipped as some type of god. A group of castronauts traveled across light years and introduced themselves to the inhabitants of Earth. These aliens have similar facial features to those of house cats, but can walk upright on 2 feet like a human. They possess supernatural psychic abilities and can read people's minds by looking at them directly in the eyes. As they left Earth, they left certain civilizations with advanced technologies. To thank them for this, the Egyptians built the mighty Sphinx in their honor. Cats and the entire feline kingdom are descendants of these aliens and were left here to watch over the human species and our developments. They still have godlike powers over us since we clean up after them and worship over them on the internet. Number 6. The Venezuelan hairy little people. Other parts of the world have different types of aliens, and in the country of Venezuela and in the Amazon, you might encounter what's known as the hairy little people. These creatures are almost like miniature versions of the Sasquatch and are much more human-like than some aliens we probably mentioned. They were first reported in 1954 by Gustavo Gonzalez and Jose Ponce during a hunting trip in the Amazon. They stepped out of a hovering craft and attacked 2 hunters. They're described as having extreme strength, are 3 to 4 feet tall, and rely on brute force to abduct their captives. Number 5. The Pleiadians. The Pleiadians are described as a beautiful species, similar to humans with Nordic qualities, and responsible for colonizing several planets. They have made superior advancements in exploration too. When this species was invaded by the Reptilians, they quickly developed life elsewhere, but they are still in a constant struggle for control of the constellation of Lyra. Some believe the Pleiadians are the inspiration for the gods of the Vikings like Odin and Thor. They're an easygoing species and can be easily reached by telepathic and psychic communications. Or maybe not so easy if you put it that way. When humans were testing nuclear weapons at the National Nevada security site, they came to communicate with our government. They wanted to negotiate a deal where we surrender our arsenal of nuclear weapons and stop the testing. In return, they would help society progress on a spiritual and intellectual level. The US government didn't trust them for whatever reason and decided to refuse the deal, and they've kept quiet ever since. Number 4. Horlocks or MIB. Horlocks are basically the humans who are so firmly under the hypnotized grip of the Reptilians that they're almost like an entire different species of alien. They at least deserve an honorable mention. Also known as Men in Black, the Horlocks are direct neurologically altered slaves of the Reptilians and work in organizations such as the CIA, FBI, and Secret Service. Some Horlocks might actually be aliens disguised as humans, using makeup, wigs, black suits, and also randomly show up whenever a UFO sighting had occurred. They're often spotted wearing sunglasses in order to hide the true forms of their eyes, which are extremely sensitive to light. When often encountered, they seem eerily robotic and synthesized. They use threats of intimidation to keep the masses completely silenced who may have encountered a UFO or reptilian. Number 3. Chameleons. Some reptilians bred themselves to appear more human-like and less reptile-like in order to save themselves some time when they shapeshift. Sightings of these aliens have happened at New Mexico, Groom Lake, Nevada, Deep Springs, California, and elsewhere. In their original form, their eyes kind of bulge out with scaly, hairless skin. Some chameleons use artificial lenses in order to appear more human-like and conceal their slit pupil iris. They are currently coming up with their own plot of infiltration of the human society, but haven't begun just yet. They may have some competition with other reptilian-type aliens in the future, but their ability to shapeshift quicker could be an advantage. Some of these are held captive at Area 51 and are kept in cages to keep them from escaping. If they do escape, the only way to identify one is to hold a light up to their eyes. If their pupils don't shrink, they're an alien. Number 2. Interdimensional Aliens. Interdimensional aliens were discussed in an FBI document dating from July 8, 1947, which discusses a peaceful group of extraterrestrials who travel in flying saucers. They don't actually live on any kind of planet, but in another dimension, possibly some kind of parallel universe. This would seem to suggest using wormholes for time travel or something of that nature. Not to be mistaken for the Nordic aliens, these space aliens are substantially taller than us. Their ships possess a type of radiant energy, which also was described later on by former Area 51 scientist Bob Lazar. These beings are able to shapeshift and disappear when they need to. Their bodies are able to materialize when they come to our planet with higher levels of dense matter. The documents also suggest that they could possibly have communicated with these visitors using radar, but not radio. But before we get to number 1, we'd like to hear from you guys. Which alien would you like to take home as your friend? Let us know in the comments section and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. And number 1, the Leviathans. The Leviathans come from a water-covered planet far, far away and over time have been able to survive on land. Referred to in holy texts as an evil serpent-like creature, they were described as being extremely powerful, hungry, clever, poisonous, with the urge to kill anything that God created. They have the ability to shapeshift or possess other creatures, but in their natural form, they have sharp teeth and an expanding jaw. Many people feel as though the serpents described in the works of history, such as Homer's Iliad, were actually species of aliens instead of mythical creatures. The Vikings also made contact with them and adorned their longboats with a metallic serpent head, which was the only known way to kill them. The Egyptians also described the defeat of a serpent creature known as Med that boss defeated by cutting the head. The occultist founder of the Ordo Templi Orientis claims to have been in contact with a Leviathan that lived in the Lochs of Scotland, or commonly known as the Loch Ness Monster.